Anything to say to the people? Doesn't look like it. All right, let's get into it. First of all, we must acknowledge, had to rep the set, you know, Barbie University, period, Willows, Wisconsin, where she was founded, 1959, you know, gotta rep the set. My cat is looking at me like I'm crazy. I know you can see my bra strap, we're all adults. It's part of the fashion, okay? Okay. Hello, my name is Shariah and I am here to talk about movies. Today we're going to be covering the 2023 live action Barbie movie and why I did not like it. Now, to get all the important stuff out of the way, if you liked it, I'm happy for you. If you didn't like it, you might like this video a little bit more. If you did like it, but you still want to hear an analysis on it, you might like this video too. It did take me a few days to write the script, so that's why it took me a little bit to get this video up. Granted, I don't really have a set posting schedule, and I'm not doing that because then I'm gonna disappoint myself. So what we're gonna do is just keep the ball rolling, you know what I mean? And also, at some point on my channel, I'm gonna curse. If you're a family member and you're watching this, I'm an adult now, okay? I can curse, I can say curse words, and it's okay, yeah, it's okay, yeah. You see the title, you know what we're here for. Let's get into it. Also, I do have my script on my computer, so if I'm looking down, deal with it, because I had to write all this out, and yeah. Barbie 2023 was a unique time for us all. Everything was pink, the girls were happy, and we were finally getting a live action of a character so many of us grew up to love dearly. Bratz, of course, had their little moment to shine, whether you believe that's a good thing or not. And now it's our turn. And I'm like an OG Barbie girl for real, so I was excited. Like everybody else, I rushed to see the movie with my mom. We got dressed in pink. I took a picture in the life-size doll box that they had in my movie theater. We got our snacks, we went to see the movie, but honestly, I left the movie feeling a little bit depressed. I wanted to fit in, so I made my eyes water at the end of the film to match all the sniffling around me, but honestly, it just felt kind of hollow. Of course, the internet had its opinions, and if anybody had any criticism about the movie, they were automatically labeled as a misogynist, and so I kept my mouth shut because I wasn't gonna deal with that backlash. I was thinking to myself, what's not to like? It's got fashion, it's got comedy, it's got a theme about feminism that could teach other people about womanhood. But honestly, it had everything except for Barbie. Let's get into it. Those who grew up with Barbie are most likely the ones who watched the original animated movies starting in 2001 with the release of Barbie and the Nutcracker. Since then, there have been about 40 installments. Based on a lot of personal interactions, looking on the internet and all that kinds of stuff, a lot of older Barbie fans usually cap off the golden age of Barbie around 2013 with the release of Barbie, Mariposa and the Fairy Princess, which a lot of older fans still deem a good movie. I myself cap it at 2015 with the release of Barbie and the Secret Door, minus Barbie and her sisters in a ponytail, because that movie was ass. I'm sorry, it was. I'm sorry. I honestly feel that everything ended and we were moving into a new age of Barbie with the release of Barbie and Princess Power. It was a film. It was a movie. That's all I can really say is it was a movie. Now, the new Barbie movies have their value. I'm not going to talk about those movies. I do really like Barbie's YouTube channel and her vlogs. I really think that that's a very cute idea to get up with the times with a lot of people becoming social media influencers. I think that the new Barbie movies have their place, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. So, love you. Pushing that point to the side. I was really excited to hear there was going to be a live action Barbie movie because I have been a Barbie girl my whole life. But unfortunately, my girl Barbie wasn't even in the movie yet. I know what you're thinking. Barbie's a doll. She's an inanimate object. How can you say she wasn't in the movie? It could literally just be a version of Barbie. And honestly, that's true. You can say that. Technically, she can be and act like anything. But since 2001, she's had a consistent character and personality that made her Barbie. To better understand who she is, let's take a dive into one of my favorite topics, the Barbie Cinematic Universe, or the BCU. I cannot believe I get to talk about this with y'all. This is so cool. I love talking about the BCU. It's one of my favorite topics ever. Barbie is a career woman, and one of her most successful careers is acting. Therefore, within the long list of movies, she is an actress who portrays different roles and different characters. This is proven by movie titles and descriptions that are listed in the IMDb website. In the earlier movies such as Nutcracker and Rapunzel, Barbie is telling a story to a younger girl named Kelly. Kelly later on in the franchise becomes Chelsea, who is known as Barbie's youngest sister, and Kelly kind of disappears. Conspiracy? That's not this channel. There is a video that goes into a whole conspiracy about Kelly's disappearance. I think it's a really funny video. I think you guys should check it out. I'm probably gonna find it and link it. So yeah, let me know what you think. Anyway, Barbie telling a story separates her as a person versus the character that she is playing in the movie. There are certain movie descriptions, such as A Christmas Carol, The Three Musketeers, and Barbie and a Mermaid Tale, that say Barbie stars as or Barbie stars in. Plus, there are also bloopers at the end of some of these movies, such as Princess and the Pauper, which a lot of people love, including myself. It was the first Barbie musical movie, and so of course a lot of us really, it stuck with us in our hearts right there. If we're trying to figure out Barbie's personality, we can't go by these movies, considering she is not being herself. She's playing a character. Now, there are movies in the BCU that just show Barbie as herself going through a personal journey of her own. These movies can give us a better idea of her actual personality. And these movies include Barbie: A Fashion Fairy Tale, Barbie: A Fairy Secret, A Perfect Christmas, Barbie and Her Sisters in a Ponytail, Barbie Diaries, and Big City Big Dreams. Yes, I'm including Big City Big Dreams in this because I believe even though it is part of the new generation, it does really do a good job at keeping Barbie's character the same, even though she is a somewhat younger version of herself in that movie. And I'm also including Barbie Diaries because that's a younger version of Barbie as well. Barbie can be a little messy at times. That movie was honestly the messiest that Barbie has ever been. And some people don't even really like attribute that to being a true Barbie movie because it was animated by a different company. But I include it because okay. Barbie Diaries is cinema. Peak cinema. It is cinema, okay? It is a true coming of age, messy high school teen girl just trying to figure it out. Like, come on, we've all been there, please. Another piece of Barbie media that I think does a wonderful job at displaying her personality at all angles is the beloved show, at least beloved by me, Barbie Life in the Dream House, that ran from 2012 to 2015. By the way, if you like Barbie Life in the Dream House, or you've seen like bits of it on Netflix and stuff like that, Netflix does not have all the seasons. All of the episodes, all of the seasons are on YouTube. So if you look up Barbie Life in the Dream House full episodes, there's a playlist that pops up that has every single episode from every single season. So you guys probably don't even know who Grace is. Right, you don't know who Grace is. Grace is this very, very smart, scientific black girl who comes to town and who is just a baller. I love her so bad. I love Grace so much. So yes, go on YouTube and watch all the episodes. Thank you. Barbie Life in the Dream House also has the best version of Ken. These are just my opinions, but I'm correct. But I digress. Looking at these specific movies and the show Barbie Life in the Dream House, we get a clear picture of Barbie's personality. Here's the point where I remind you guys, I have a script. I have to read for certain things, okay? I have to. Barbie is passionate. She's a hard worker. She's generous, a go-getter, kind-spirited, fun-loving, a bit silly and crazy at times, obsessed with glitter, and sometimes overly optimistic. She's loving and caring towards everyone around her. She's confident in herself, takes pride in her work, and takes care of herself. When things get hard, she surrounds herself with people she loves. When she's emotional, she allows herself to feel it. She apologizes when she makes mistakes or hurts someone. Overall, she's not a perfect person, but she simply is a person doing her best to make the world a brighter place and enjoy her own life. So I hear you asking me, why does this matter? Why are we even talking about this? Well, let's take a look at the purpose of Barbie movies. Barbie is a doll. When it comes to toys, media is often made to create a story and connection so that people are encouraged to buy it. For example, Pokemon was a card trading game that was adapted into an anime in order to give these creatures a world and a story that people could connect to, and it would encourage them to buy the game. The same happens with dolls. It happens with all kinds of dolls: Rainbow High dolls, Ever After High dolls, Monster High dolls, and of course, Barbie. Barbie is unique because she's a fashion doll. She was the first doll that came about that wasn't a baby doll. It wasn't something that little girls had to take care of, and instead was something they could look up to and look forward to becoming. Barbie media began with stories that many people already know and love, like The Nutcracker, Rapunzel, and Swan Lake. After that, they branched out into musical territory with the ever-popular Barbie Princess and the Pauper, which is based on another classic tale. Once it established itself and gained true trajectory, Barbie began to establish its own stories, and it mainly rooted itself in magical adventures. When people think of Barbie movies, they oftentimes think of musicals, magic, fairies, mermaids, and more. It gave room for more toys and more buying power for Mattel. Profit is good and all, but people often buy what they like and can relate to. Barbie couldn't just be pretty and perfect. You have to be able to connect to her. Barbie is not just this perfect blonde image that a lot of people assume she is. She's a strong and passionate woman that even I as a young black girl could see myself in. Without the media to define her, she is just a blonde fashion doll. That's why it's important that she's represented correctly, and it was important that her personality was established throughout her multiple films. The live-action movie made Barbie a blank slate, which makes a little bit of sense when you realize they needed to market it to people who already love Barbie as well as people who were newcomers. However, knowing how large of a franchise Barbie is, a lot of producers and box office runners believed that they could rely on a solid baseline for interest and attendance in this film. I admit that I showed up with expectations, hoping that it would be the kind of Barbie movie that I loved as a kid with some kind of fun and fantasy-filled adventure, but it didn't end up being that. Now, we're going to move into our next segment. That means we need a new angle. Counterclaim angle. Okay, but why do I look better at this angle? Ignore that. To make this a proper argumentative piece, I'd like to give the film its flowers in a few areas. I want to clarify that I thought this was a well-made film. Greta Gerwig, the queen of white feminism in the film community, as seen by her previous films Little Women and Lady Bird, which were beloved by almost every white girl in all of my film classes, was the director of this project, and she did what she does best. While her portrayal of feminism and womanhood is a bit one-dimensional in my opinion, something I will touch on later, I think she directed a good movie. There were fun shots, gags, and choices. The color grading to show the difference between Barbie Land and the real world was wonderfully done. The set was gorgeous, and I adore anything with bright colors. The costumes were beautiful, and the I'm Just Ken music video sequence was a well-lit and entertaining scene. My personal experience was that it didn't match the trailer in vibe. The joy and adventure that was shown in the trailer was drained from me a bit as we got to the real world. I had seen many people describe this film as a sleepover movie, but I was deeply uncomfortable as I watched a quarter of the film reside in the intense energy of the patriarchy. I'd like to acknowledge, though, that that was her point. This movie was made in 2023. Yes, I'm gonna be jumping in and out of the accent. I'm gonna need you to catch up to speed. And okay, ready? We were in a tense political climate and on our way to the hostile political climate we have today in 2026. The basics of the struggles of womanhood were finally becoming more commonly discussed due to social media, mainly TikTok. Gerwig took the opportunity to create something that didn't require specific algorithm settings to spread the message. She used Barbie, a well-known figure that represents women and has faced the polarizing opinions of society by just existing, so that basically makes her a real woman. I understand what Gerwig was doing here and how using Barbie got the message to a lot of people who wouldn't have gotten it otherwise. While it is a positive thing and a lot of good came out of it, including conversations between men and women that would not have happened before, I was upset that it just wasn't a Barbie movie. Barbie is important to so many young women because of the way she handles herself and the weight of the world without losing her joy or passion for life. The original movies had stories that had high stakes and covered heavy topics such as murder, duty, obligation, identity, peace treaties, prejudice, and more. Her personality shines and she's relatable to so many people, including me. She makes mistakes, she has sass, and she moves through life with fashionable taste and the best intentions. The live-action movie, in my opinion, didn't represent Barbie, who she is. If the live-action was somebody's first Barbie movie, which for a lot of people it was, they wouldn't really understand why Barbie is so important to so many young women and what it is about her that we connect to. Margot Robbie portrays Barbie, but this kind of Barbie doesn't really have any kind of job or position. She is just a Barbie, which is fine. It's completely okay to just be a person. I understand that this is the point, but I don't think it's right for a Barbie movie specifically. In this kind of way, it takes the attention off of Barbie and it makes society the main character of the movie. It was also this blank portrayal of her that made it really hard for me to relate to her and connect to this movie personally. This is where my main issue with the movie lies. The film is often praised as peak feminism, when honestly it was more of an introduction to feminism. It didn't have anything new to say and mainly existed to show how silly and dangerous the patriarchy looks from a woman or an outsider's perspective. True womanism, which womanism is a more inclusive term for feminism that addresses the intersectionality of race or gender and how that affects a woman's lived experiences, was not included. Now I hear you. Counterclaim angle. This was a long movie that had to balance comedy, a well-known IP, and feminism into one concise story that makes sense and still entertains. It's a challenge, and maybe they didn't have time for that. All of this is true. However, I feel if you're going to make the main theme of your movie what it's like to be a woman, you must address intersectionality. Barbie Land was full of all kinds of different women, of races, sexualities, disabilities, and even a trans woman. Yet the only perspective of a woman that we truly got was from the perspective of a blonde white woman. On the surface, the movie looks like a blonde white woman experiences prejudice for the first time, has her worldview fall apart, she cries, she finds a woman of color who helps her figure her life out and gives her a pep talk, and then she proceeds to put the world back together again and celebrates. Now, I'm not a cynic, so of course I know the movie has a lot more to offer than that, and I'm not going to boil the movie just down to those little bullet points because that's not fair. But from my perspective as a black woman, it can read this way. And it kind of did. Now here's where I get to talking about race, because yes, it's valid, or not valid. Well, it is valid. Relevant is the word I was trying to say. If you don't want to hear about it, tough. Being a black woman, through my lived experience and many discussions with other black women, I have learned over time that our worth in society is often deemed by what we can accomplish. Of course, this stems from slavery and how black people as a whole had to either be useful or be gone, and it still affects us today. Black women often have to work twice as hard or accomplish twice as much just for a chance to get a seat at the table. I remember when Ketanji Brown Jackson was nominated to be on the Supreme Court as a judge, and people who couldn't even name the first 10 amendments to the Constitution were telling her she wasn't qualified despite all of her qualifications and accolades. And it drove me nuts. In this situation, the prejudice came from her being black as well as being a woman, but both issues were intrinsically tied into why people deemed her not qualified, even though you could literally list all of her qualifications next to everybody else who was nominated and see that she was clearly more qualified than anybody else who was currently on the... But I digress. Because of this, watching the movie through the eyes of someone whose only struggle is being a woman, it didn't really reach me. For black women, being a woman comes second and sometimes even third in our list of concerns when it comes to minority status, especially if you're an openly queer woman or a disabled woman of color. I have no issue seeing myself in the Barbie that I know and love when I was growing up because she has a personality, she has values and faults just like I do. In her movies, she faces many trials and tribulations. Sometimes they're identity based, with her being a woman or her being born into a royal family and having a royal duty. And sometimes it was just a bad situation she needed to get out of. I know there's a lot of women out there who have daughters and are concerned about representation of women, and honestly, as somebody who grew up without a lot of black media, I was very happy to have somebody like Barbie who I could relate to, regardless of what she looked like. And not all black girls are going to immediately connect to the first black character they see. My favorite Disney princess is Cinderella, because her motto is to be kind and have courage. And that's how I like to live my life. Barbie's optimism, work ethic, love for others, and passion for fashion are all things that I can personally connect to, whether I'm a white blonde girl or not. In the live action, the blank slate that we are given is just that, a blank slate. She's nothing more than just a blonde white woman, and so it wasn't something that I could reach out and grab onto. I, of course, can empathize with the Barbie in the live action movie because her experience of womanhood is something similar to what I know and have gone through in my life. But at the end of the day, it felt like something that was very surface level. All of the epiphanies and big moments in the movie felt like things that I already knew, and like I was sitting through a remedial class. Truthfully, I felt left out because it seemed like others could get so deeply emotional about something that felt so surface level to me. The moments where I had to close my eyes, take a deep breath, and feel were moments where my blackness came before my womanhood. For people like me, we're black before we're anything else, especially in America. While I'm also a queer woman, I can't necessarily speak for how that affected my watching experience because my queerness doesn't necessarily affect my everyday life in the same way that my blackness does. So if you are an openly queer woman, a trans woman, or a disabled woman, or anything like that, let me know in the comments if that affected how you viewed this movie, or if the movie felt more distant for you, or even maybe closer to you if you related to it more because of those things, because I'd love to hear from you guys. Now, all of this is my experience. If you loved and connected to this movie, even if you are a black woman or a trans woman or anything like that, I am very happy for you. This movie was made to inform people, to bring people joy. This is just me stating my opinion on this piece of artwork because artwork makes conversation, so we're having a conversation. I'm not telling anybody to hate this film. That's just not what I do. As I said before, it did do a lot of good socially when it came to conversations and things like that. It did a lot of good for film as a whole when it came to just getting a lot of people in the theater. So I am super excited about its release. I'm very happy that the movie came out. This is just my opinion, blah, blah, blah. Now for my conclusion. To summarize, In my opinion, I didn't like the Barbie movie because it didn't represent Barbie. It was about the doll, an object coming to life and deciding to give womanhood a try. It made society the main character of the movie and didn't really represent Barbie as a person, and more so used her as an action figure in a story about womanhood. While the idea itself is not a bad one, stripping away who Barbie is almost defeats the purpose of truly representing what she stands for. Barbie doesn't go through life saying, "Look at what I can do, and I'm a woman." She simply does what she loves and is a woman while doing it. That distinct difference makes her relatable to all kinds of women, instead of just the women who look like her. There are even Barbie films that a lot of queer women deeply connect to because of the relationship of the characters within the movies. However, a lot of these relationships are not canon, except for like Diamond Castle, because I mean, come on. The girls were gay. We're not, that is the one movie for certain where I'm like, the girls were gay. Like, let's not act like that's some kind of crazy thing to say here. The 2023 live action Barbie film came across to me as a white feminism 101 class that used Barbie as a way to present this topic in a more palatable way. They also used Barbie to enhance the marketability and to draw in a larger audience. Basically, all of these reasons come to the conclusion of, I wanted a Barbie movie and I just didn't get it. Well, that is the end of this wonderful video. Thank you guys so much for your interest in this video. I had a few people on TikTok telling me they could not wait for this video to come out. I can't wait for it to come out either, because now I have to go edit it. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you once again, because this is only my second video that I have posted on this new character analysis YouTube channel, and I am super excited that I got to share something that I am passionate about with you guys. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to know what you guys thought of the movie. I want to know if you loved it, if you hated it, if you connected with it, if you didn't connect with it, and why. I love hearing everybody's thoughts about this movie. I am not just here to cause a hate train and have everybody bashing on the movie. That is not the point. Also, if you made it to the end of this video, put a pink heart comment down below so I know you made it to the end. And also tell me my hair looks good, because it does. If you ever think I'm fishing for compliments, I am. According to my notes, I have a video idea that I'm going to be doing at some point called Kindness is a Survival Skill, and it's going to be talking about the movies The Wild Robot as well as the 2025 Superman, because those movies are great representations of that topic. I also have a series that I'm going to be doing on my channel called Movies That Missed the Point. This series is going to be going over movies that I think misrepresented characters, misrepresented the spirit of adaptations, or anything like that. And of course, at some point, I will be covering Man of Steel. If you know how I feel about Man of Steel from my TikTok videos. That's gonna be a fun ride there. Anyways, that's enough rambling. My voice is sore, my body is sore from a very long audition I did the other day, and I'm gonna go lay horizontal. So leave a like and please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.